Everyone is projecting something onto what's so-called Palestinian cause. While there is no such a thing as Palestine. This is the biggest lie. But people need a cause. They need a God. And if there is no such a thing, they don't exist. What we see in the Middle East, this whole chaos, bloodshed, is not coincidental. We are paying the price for our cowardice because we cannot stand and we cannot stay truthful for one moment that we are swayed by the forces of society. If a majority of the people say Palestine, everybody starts saying Palestine, not knowing what they are saying. You ask them, what is Palestine? And they don't know how to answer. Then everybody swear by the name of God. You tell them, what is God? And nobody knows how to say it. Believers. The majority are believers. And this is what I'm dealing with right now. Not only the stupidity of the Middle East, but the stupidity of mankind. That the majority don't want to take responsibility for themselves, and a majority don't choose to stay in denial, not see things for what they are, bringing more chaos and more human suffering. So how do we deal with this problem? We deal with this problem only through the truth. Lies will not save us. Lies will just keep us in slavery or will take us to total destruction. Best case scenario, a lot more suffering and a lot more confusion. This is the alternative to truth. And of course, speaking in terms of truth is not for everyone, except for those who live truthfully, except for those who are truthful to who they are. Even if the entire world say otherwise, this type of individuals are so firm where they stand, not swayed. Hamas is bad news, and we have to eradicate them. You take it as simple as this, or you will have to experience what type of destruction these savages can bring to the world. The world is divided. We say, those who know Hamas' true nature, those who have first-hand experience with Hamas, whether it is in the intelligence communities or, in my case, someone who witnessed the evolution of Hamas organization. On the authority of this experience, of this knowledge, I say Hamas must be eradicated. If we fail to eradicate them, we are going to empower them, and there are going to be many other groups like Hamas everywhere in the world that anti-democracy, anti-dialogue, anti-coexistence, anti-humanity. Because the magic of humanity springs from diversity. And Hamas does not like diversity. Hamas is a narrow-minded people who want everybody to convert to their way of living with a sick sense of righteousness. that in their ignorance, they think they are better than anyone else. That's not acceptable. Everybody is a pure potential of the divine. Everyone is an image of the divine, of the source. And this potential is limitless. Hamas want to reduce this potential into a religious function, turning women into property. We saw them. Didn't you see them drag a teenager girl by the neck into the unknown? Hamas savages. That girl represents our freedom. Kidnapped, kept somewhere under the ground, in a dark place, among monsters. And we are still debating whether if Hamas doing a good thing or a bad thing. So this is our denial. Because some people don't want to see things for what they are. And we say that this is a savage group. This is a terrorist group. But what they did on October 7th was not only a terrorist attack. There is a difference between the IRA when they targeted civilians for political reasons, political hatred. But what Hamas did on October 7th was a genocide. They moved systematically from door to door, killing, annihilating everything in their way. They killed pregnant women, they killed infants, they beheaded babies, they raped, they burnt, they blew up, they destroyed everything in their way. With racism and ethnic cleansing as their motive. If Hamas was a political movement, and their goal was to really free what so-called Palestinian people from the occupation, all lies, lie upon lie, layers upon layers of ignorance and deception. Because the State of Israel is a member of the United Nations. It was established by legal migrants under the British mandate, the superpower of that time. They bought the land, they developed the land, they created a powerful country, a powerful nation that I am myself proud to be friends with, that actually the rest of humanity should be very proud of, because the contribution of such a small nation towards humanity is a magnificent contribution. While on the other hand, a bunch of useless people sitting in darkness, they know the art of blaming the world, living in victimhood, being the victim all the time, and having a great cause, with leaderships seeking statehood. And everybody is advancing their pursuit, saying, yes, a two-state solution is the solution. And I simply say to this type of clowns, and that includes prime ministers, just like recently, the Spanish and the Belgian prime ministers, two idiots, intoxicated, like you can tell that they are drunk, when they were representing the way out of the crisis. Those are the leaders that want actually to fix the human problem. They come in the middle of a war where a democracy is fighting savages. Instead of condemning the savages who just committed a genocide against a race, they come with the wrong solutions, the wrong people, at the wrong time, at the wrong place. And we wonder why the conflict is continuing forever. This type of losers, they disgust me anyway. They disgust me. So, the hostages was not on their agendas. It's not priority to release the hostages. It was not a priority to condemn Hamas as a savage group who committed genocide. Eradicating a terrorist group that is causing all this trouble in the Middle East, destabilizing security, global security, not only regional security, hijacking an entire society, using them as human shields, posing as the ruler of that land, gambling with children's blood. To those idiots, they don't think eradicating such a group is priority number one before we even talk about the peace process. Because if there is any force in the Middle East that sabotaged the peace process, that's Hamas. But, they are looking for quick solutions. Just sweeping the dirt under the rug. Or taking a pill and going to sleep, hoping that the problem will be over tomorrow. But then they realize that they need another pill, and another pill. And the problem never goes away. So, this is what I meant by staying truthful. This is what I meant by saying taking responsibility. Dealing with a group like Hamas is not an easy thing. And I wish that we actually left Israel to deal with the problem. Instead of giving Israel as a democratic model, giving them the necessary support in this ugly war against 21st century savages, what do? We go and we inflict emotional pain on Israel and the Jewish people as they mourn a modern-day Holocaust. So pathetic. And of course, when someone like me step forward and talk about it, there is a crowd out there that question my authority. So yes, let them continue to be in denial. But tomorrow, when chaos takes over, and none of them will be able even to travel anywhere without being afraid to be slaughtered on the hands of a savage or a savage group, they will remember that there was order at some point. But are we going to allow it to get to that point? This whole pro-Palestine crowd, anti-Israel, anti-Semitism, or anti-Semitic, this is what they deserve. They deserve to be imprisoned in a room with the savages so they can see the savages for what they are. If they are looking for justice, and let's say I was in that case, I tell them, how about you go figure it out? Even I tell them, why don't you go to Gaza and live with Hamas in Gaza? Let Hamas be the ruler. Why are you in Manhattan? If you love Hamas that much and you love Palestine that much, go there, relocate, I'll pay for your ticket. A one-way ticket. Bunch of hypocrites. They don't inspire me. They don't inspire my dog. So, this is what I meant when I said being truthful and not being afraid of the opinion of a majority. I know we are hurt. I know that. And I know this is a tough time for the Jewish people and for the free people, not only the Jewish people. You are not alone in this situation. We are together in this, and our faith is connected. This is an existential war. And we are going to win the war. Hamas will be defeated, and all those who unmasked and showed their true face, projecting hatred in the most critical moment of our modern day, turning and stabbing humanity in the back as it's fighting for itself. They just exposed themselves. And they are not a majority. How many in London? Mostly migrants, mostly from Arabian and Muslim background, coming to Europe to benefit from the fruit of the Western civilization, driven by desire to take what the material world has to offer. But they have a problem. One leg in the West and one leg in the East. They cannot just be truthful and respect the culture and the system that took them in. So, you come to Europe, you come to the West, and your heart, your mind still back in the East. Why don't you just relocate? Go back to where you came from. Why all this trouble? I would do that, but my loyalty is to the country that actually welcomed me. When I migrated to the United States of America, I made an oath to be loyal to the American Constitution, which I like. I cannot have my loyalty to Hamas or to Islam or to the Middle East simultaneously. No, my first loyalty to the country that took me in, and that's America. End of the story. So for all those, and if I have to choose between America and humanity at some point, which in my opinion will not happen, then I will choose humanity. Because I don't think that the American Constitution or the Western civilization contradicts with the natural human evolution, because it's all based on dialogue and understands the power of diversity. It's not only green. It's all colors. So this is a good fight. And a majority of people in the free world know what I am talking about. What we see on the streets is a minority of clowns that are projecting their hatred. And it's mostly, by the way, self-hatred. And this cloud is going to move. And the sun will rise again. So stay faithful. Stay truthful. Do not be afraid. They thrive in chaos. We know that. This is why they're coming, and they're coming aggressive. But we tell them, hey, we're not afraid of aggression. If you think that you can speak loud, we speak louder. And if dialogue does not work, then we have other means. We prefer not to use force as a first option. But if we are left with no other option but the use of force, in order to end a war they have started, then we will use force. We are not afraid of that.